Yeah, first game of the season. I've been waiting all summer for this. I'm real pumped. What do you mean price is out? This year was supposed to be different. Hello everybody, Ben again, and we start off the season with a win, 4-1 against the Buffalo Sabres. And it was probably one of the most boring 4-1 wins I have ever watched in my entire life. Habs didn't really look all that convincing throughout the game. Anyway, starting with the one time that they actually did look pretty convincing offensively was probably the first 15 minutes of the first. They just ran Buffalo's show when it came to offense, and it helped Gallagher get his first goal of the year with an absolute snipe after a beautiful lead pass from Pacioretty, who was kind of making up for missing a wide open one timer earlier on in the period. Then towards the end of the period, Buffalo did sort of come alive, and Montoya actually had to wake up from his slumber. And he had a great save on an Evander Kane breakaway, and he had a couple of the good saves that period, although he wasn't really called on to do much, but he looked solid. Going into the second period was when things started not going so well for the Habs. But even then, fourth line comes out. Paul Byron does all kinds of work, gets himself towards the net with the puck, and he kind of gets flattened by I don't remember who, but the puck squirts out in front, and Torrey Mitchell shovels in the garbage, and we have a 2-0 Canadiens lead, which was a wonderful thing to see after the end of last year. Habs not getting into too much penalty trouble before this, but then they get another one, and I noticed something that Plekanec and Lehkonen are the top PK pairing now instead of Plekanec and Pacioretty. I just thought it was weird seeing that after having Plekanec Pacioretty be the top PK pairing for so long. They killed that penalty and they looked okay killing it, but not too great. Montoya was called upon a few times to make some nice saves. Towards the end of the period, we see Yemelin and Kane skating down towards the Canadiens' end, and we see him kind of get mixed up a little, and then Kane just goes flying into the boards, and he's writhing in pain. And my first reaction was, oh my god, dive! Because I thought they were going to call a tripping penalty on Yemelin, and then I immediately felt like a dick because I saw Kane on the ground clearly in immense pain. Hopefully he'll be all right. The news came out today that it was 3 cracked ribs, which I can't imagine feels any kind of good, but hopefully he's not out too long for Buffalo's sake. They already have to deal with Eichel and Okposo being out, so they don't need anybody else. The Habs come out of the second period with a 2-goal lead. I don't know how long it had been since that happened, but it was kind of nice to see, even though they really didn't play very well in the second period. Third period starts, and Weber just takes such a gloriously bad cross-checking penalty. And on that power play, Reinhart gets a beautiful pass out from behind the Canadiens' net to Molson. One-timer goal. Habs only up by 1 now. And then not long after that, new guy, Mikhail Sergachev, who had been looking all right most of the night, gives up a horrible giveaway, and the Sabres almost tie it, but Montoya saves the day again. He looked solid in net as the backup. Then about midway through the period, it's the top line back out there again with a top pairing of Weber and Beaulieu out. Weber throws a snapshot on net. Gallagher deflects it, and it goes in. Beauty goal, 3-1 Habs. Back up by 2. And not long after that play, we see Yemelin absolutely lay someone out, and then Mitchell goes down heading up the ice, and then Josh Georges, hey, remember that guy? He doesn't even really hit him that bad. He just kind of like trips over Mitchell as he falls, but then Radulov got real mad at that, and kind of heated things up a little bit. There was a little bit of a scrum, but nothing too bad. Hopefully Mitchell isn't really hurt too badly, because it looked like he was kind of in pretty bad pain like Kane was. Hopefully it's not anything serious. I don't want to see him go down because he's one of the better fourth line centers I think we've had in a long time. Then with about 5 minutes left in the third, there's just this big scrum in front of the net with the Habs third line out of Carr, Shaw, and David Darnay, and we kind of just keep seeing them trying to shoot it in, and then eventually Shaw backhands it on net, and then Carr gets brought down from the net, and he's slapping away at the goalie's pads, and then we see it go in and the ref points, and it ended up being Shaw just shot it, and it was trickled through the goalie's 5-hole at Robin Lehner's 5-hole, and was just kind of slowly sliding along the ice, and then maybe Carr whacking at the goalie's pads might have helped give it a little more momentum, but then it ended up going in, and Shaw gets his first goal as a Canadian. And that ended up being the final goal of the game, and the Canadians ended up winning 4-1. But then something I missed last night watching the game was, with about 3 seconds left, Andrew Shaw decided it was a good idea to slew foot. I think it was Larson on the Sabres. And he got a 5-minute and a match penalty for that. News came out today that he's not actually going to get suspended a game. I don't know how, but that's good news, I guess, because he looked pretty good on the third line last night. I'm surprised he didn't get a suspension with all of his past. But yeah, so I missed that last night, but I saw that today. Just general thoughts on the game. Pacioretty didn't look amazing, but the general line of Gallagher, Pacioretty, Galchenyuk looked great, like they always do. They always work well together. Second line of Lehkonen, Plekanec, and Radulov had their moments, but I still think I would like to see Radulov and Galchenyuk together more than I'd like to see Radulov and Plekanec, because they just seem to have more chemistry. I don't know if it's just because of that one goal I saw them have in the preseason is why I'm fixated on that, but I think they just have more chemistry together than Plekanec and Radulov. That line still looked good. Third line of Daniel Carr, Shaw, and Desharnais looked good. And the fourth line looked good. They worked hard. They got a goal. Philip Deneau, Paul Byron, and Torrey Mitchell is one of the better fourth lines the Habs have had in a good few years. And then Nathan Beaulieu on the first pairing with Shea Weber did not look out of place. He looked like he belonged on the first pairing with Shea Weber. He kind of complimented him fairly well with his. He was able to do a lot of the puck gathering for Shea Weber because Weber's a bit slower. But it'll be interesting if they can keep that up. They look good. Patterson and Markov look great together. Patterson, I noticed, has an absolute bomb of a shot that we've never really gotten to see because he didn't get much of a chance last year, but he has got a heck of a slap shot that I've never noticed before. And then the third pairing of Yemelin and Sergachev. Yemelin certainly had a better game than Sergachev did. Yemelin laid out some huge hits like throughout the game. He looked like he had it going last night. He looked good. Yeah, the first period was great for the Habs. The second period was not at all. They did not look that good, but luckily Al Montoya looked great, and Sabres don't have much offensive power, especially with Okposo and Eichel both out. And then third period was pretty even. Had that weird goal by Shaw, and then the nice tip by Gallagher, but all in all, it was just kind of a really boring 4-1 win, but it's a good way to start off the season, I guess. Getting a 4-1 win on the road is not really much a better way to start it. And then more news came down the pipeline today that next game against the Senators, Carey Price is still going to be out. So might be a bit of a knee injury kind of flu. Who knows? I don't know. It's probably just a flu, but this does nothing but make me paranoid as all hell that he's out with something worse. Anyway, see you guys next time.